Hello! So today I want to do kind of an informational video and talk about misophonia. What is it and what are the symptoms and what can you do about it? But first of all, I want to say a couple things. My sister's in the shower and I want to speed through this video and try to do the whole thing before she gets out of the shower so that she doesn't wonder why I'm in my bedroom talking to myself. Also, I finally got a camera up. If you can tell, the quality of this video hopefully should be better. I was too lazy before to do that, so I was filming on my phone, and then also I can never really tell if I've gotten the depth of field right because I'm too far away from the display screen to actually see. So it's kind of like a guesswork thing, and if it's wrong, I will try my best to do better at this in the future. So now to misophonia. What is misophonia? So I'm just gonna, I wrote out these notes. I'm gonna look down a lot just to let you know, but I did write this. Misophonia, also known as sound rage, is a neurological condition that causes certain sounds to trigger moderate to severe emotional responses, such as anxiety, stress, or anger. Individuals with misophonia can feel panic and rage from hearing certain sounds. They may need to move away from the sound, block their ears so that they don't hear the sound, wear earbuds or play music so that they can block out the sounds, or some people feel the need to mimic the sound. Mimicking the sound creates this empathy response in your brain where because you're also doing the same sound, you are not as bothered by it. So some people feel the need to do that. In some people, the mimicking is entirely involuntary, and in some people, it's a voluntary response. So it can go both ways. Severe misophonia can even cause outbursts of violence. Either to other people, like the need to strike out, or to yourself. Some people self-harm when they are triggered, when their misophonia is triggered. Severe the disorder is similar to Tourette syndrome and synesthesia, among other neurological conditions. There are links between those. Some people have both. Sometimes there's crossover symptoms, and there is no treatment or cure necessarily for misophonia, but there are some things that you can do to help with the symptoms. So, what does misophonia feel like? Imagine that somebody is dragging their nails across a chalkboard. Feels pretty terrible. You can almost feel the pain in that sound. It might give you chills, it might make you feel physically uncomfortable because that sound is just terrible. And then imagine that repeating over and over and over and over and over and over, and you can't get it out because you heard it now and it's just there, and you feel so uncomfortable and angry and hostile and anxious and stressed, and you don't know how to get rid of this horrible, horrible feeling. And that is what it feels like. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like nails on a chalkboard, except it extends to many, many sounds that occur daily. So it can be, some people it can be mild, it can be moderate, or it can be severe, and these sounds are just terrible, terrible to bear. Okay, so what are the common misophonia triggers? Because there are certain sounds that tend to be triggers and certain sounds that aren't as common as triggers. There is a range though, and it's very different depending on the individual. However, the most common triggers are mouth sounds, breathing sounds, chewing sounds, those sorts of things, and also repetitive sounds. So, breathing, gum chewing, burping, slurping, whispering, sniffling, sucking, sipping, silverware scraping, nails tapping, jaw clicking, throat clearing, snoring, sneezing, ums, S sounds, clocks ticking, papers on pencil, typing, crinkling paper, plastic bags, scratching, keys rattling, foot dragging, nail biting, knuckle cracking, etc. It can really range, but it tends to be mouth sounds, breathing sounds, chewing sounds, and repetitive sounds. And those are the most common ones that are out there. There is also a related condition called, and I'm going to forget the name of course now, I think it is called it sounds like, it starts with a K, and it sounds like misokinesia, I think. Misokinesia. Oh, yes, I was right. Misokinesia, which is related to movement. It's a very related condition, such as, like, if someone is, like, rocking, like, bouncing their leg, like repetitive movements, whereas misophonia, because it's phonia for sound, is about repetitive sounds or chewing sounds. Misokinesia is about movements that are bothersome, such as bouncing of the leg or rocking, repetitive movements, and it causes the same response. It's a very related condition, except it's movement instead of sound. So just be mindful of that as well. And please be mindful that many noises, these common daily noises, can trigger very strong emotional responses from people around you who have misophonia. And it is an uncontrollable response. There are things that people with misophonia can do to try and subdue those feelings, but they happen anyway, and so even if someone is doing a good job restraining their emotional response and their anger, they will feel it internally. And it feels horrible, so please be mindful that there are people with this condition and to try and keep those noises to a minimum. I know it's very difficult. Some of these noises are just necessary and they have to happen, but just be mindful that this condition does exist. Also, things that you can do to help. Now this part I don't have notes for, but I'm just going to talk from my own experience because I do have misophonia. The thing that I have found to be most helpful for me is to wear a single earbud, like just one, so that I can still be participating in like daily life, but just a single earbud playing either white noise or like gentle music that's not distracting, and it doesn't block out the sounds clearly because this ear is listening, or whatever, you know, my other ear is listening, but it does subdue the sounds a little so they're a little bit more manageable. Also, not grounding exercises, but like anxiety reducing exercises such as deep breathing exercises, mindfulness, those things can be really helpful, and I will do a video on mindfulness exercises so that in the future look for that. Those techniques can also help. But generally the two things I found to be most helpful are those anxiety reducing techniques and the blocking out the sound technique. And I do have, be right back. Okay, I do have this wonderful tool that I use for misophonia. It is a Bluetooth earbud. So it's not a Bluetooth necessarily to talk on the phone, it's intended for listening to music. And you can put it, I have this wonderful hair thing here going on. I can put it in my ear, wrap it around, and then I can cover it with my hair. No one knows it's there, there's no cords, wires, so it's entirely inconspicuous, and then I can have it Bluetooth to my phone playing the white noise, and it helps dim out some of the bad noises without being obvious. So that's what I use sometimes. It's really helpful for me when I'm in an environment where I can't just remove myself from the situation, like if I'm at school and I can't just walk away from the sound. Having this is very helpful, and you can get all sorts of these types of Bluetooth earbuds on Amazon. That's where I got mine. And that is what I have found to be most helpful. So keep an eye out for the mindfulness exercises, anxiety reducing techniques. I'll try and get a video out about that soon. And please be mindful of those around you who may have misophonia. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please, please, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. It really helps me out. And I'd love also if you're coming from YouTube and not my Tumblr to check out my Tumblr, which I will link to. But definitely comment below if you have any suggestions for what's helped your misophonia, or suggestions on great ways to explain it to other people, any sort of helpful tips. I'd love to hear those down in the comments. Or you can send them to me on my blog. Thank you so much for watching. I hope all of you lovelies have a good day.